Come on, Rojo Rollers. Let's go. You got this. Come on, let's go. God fucking damn. You're fucking trash. You're fucking trash. I tell you, garbage. I I apologize for my outburst. You see, I get quite into the marble racing now that sports aren't on TV. I miss you, sports. I really want to watch some football this year. I hope it comes back for sure. I'm gonna lose my mind. But in the meantime, I'm able to listen to music and make some review videos. So today we're gonna review the newest Bad Bunny record titled Las que no iban a salir, and this translates to the ones that weren't going out, which is a very interesting title considering the stay-at-home order in many states right now during this pandemic, the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. And we actually see more references to what this odd time period does to people psychologically later on in this Bad Bunny record. So I think the title is very appropriate and very intriguing. But when I tend to do reviews of albums that are primarily in a different language, such as Spanish on this record, I typically listen to the actual album first. I like to see what is the sound, what is the mood, what is the vibe and aesthetic that we're working with here, vocally and instrumentally. Then I like to look into what are the lyrics and what are they depicting beyond just what it sounds like. And I have to say, based on that alone, I think production-wise, this Bad Bunny record is pretty fantastic. And we see that right out the gate with the first song, Si Ella Sale, which roughly translates to If She Goes Out. I love the singing on this track. It's very dark, it's very eerie, it has a grimy tone to it. However, I find that the trap drums and instrumentation and hi-hats throughout this are kind of an interesting juxtaposition within the track. You see this also with the second track, Más de una cita, where there's these like staccato but static sounding kind of synth piano keys throughout it. It's a very fun kind of vibe. It sounds a bit lo-fi in the mix despite the drums being so present. The actual keys are a bit more lo-fi, but I think it gives it a fun vibe. I love the featured vocalists on here. They sound great. The melody is fantastic. I think it's one of the catchiest on this entire record. One of the most uplifting and powerful sounding melodies on the entire record. And the third track here, which I don't even want to try to pronounce because I can't find the pronunciation of the title online. I don't want to butcher it for anyone out there. But this song, I'll have the title below in text. This song is a much more depressing tone to it. It has, again, these piano keys that have a very lo-fi mix, and it sounds so much sadder. And once I looked into the lyrics, I understood why, and we'll get into that later. And the track with Don Omar, too, has one of the most, distorted sounding chords throughout it and one of the hardest hitting beats. I mean, it's such a banger. When I looked into the lyrics later on, a lot of them are just him talking about being lit and having girls twerking on him and drinking and smoking, which I guess is kind of typical for a reggaeton song, so that kind of turned me off a bit to Bad Bunny's writing style. But again, I think for this kind of song, it's perfect with the kind of beat he's working with. Don Omar sounds hard as fuck on this. Like, his delivery is so aggressive, so intense, so loud and bombastic. And I think that considering a lot of the other songs aren't about this topic, I don't mind, a turn-up song here and there on this record. Now, upon looking deeper into the English translations of the lyrics for these songs, you find that there's actually some depth to the writing as well on this record. For example, the first song, Si Ella Sale, which roughly translates to If She Goes Out, that song is all about a girl where if she goes out, they're talking about all the crazy things that will follow her, the crazy things she will do in the night that are some wild party antics. It really reminds me of a lot of the songs on the latest J Balvin Clores record. A lot of songs described a certain woman, a certain female protagonist or antagonist in this way. I think it's a bit more badass and specific here, like with lines like, the one who touches her needs to shut up, she's this close to freaking out, baby this bumper resists the crash, like the natural ones, what she did doesn't look bad. It's like very, I don't know, it's very intense. She's described as like kind of like a girl with an attitude that's just kind of ready to erupt, which I think translates into her style of partying, her wild antics, her kind of psychotic ways in a sense. Mas de una cita, to my surprise, actually is kind of a parallel to this song because it describes a woman that's quite opposite. She's very tamed, she's very to herself, she doesn't open up to a lot of guys, or at least not after the guys she's opened up to in the past. And this song shows Bad Bunny showing a bit more of a romantic side as opposed to a sexual one. He's trying to pursue her into being with him, but has what are the best intentions he possibly could for her. But she is very hard to get, and this is evident by Zion's chorus saying, and to make her fall in love, she needs more than one date, which I think the way he was describing the girl in the first song on this record seems like this one is kind of the complete opposite in a sense. So I found it interesting for him to write a love song essentially about two different kinds of women. It was a very interesting start to the album. There are some very sweet lines scattered throughout here, as I said. Bad Bunny seems like he legitimately wants her to fall in love with him. There's lines from the featured artist, Lennox, saying, she is defiant, she changed direction hard, now it's my turn to conquer her. Mommy, I know you like to sin, but that they don't take advantage of you, like saying that he wants really the best intentions for her, which is sweet. But then later there's also some lines in here like, how good we spend our time in intimacy, the sex in the parking lot of the university. Oh God. But it has a bit of tongue in cheek to it, but I think it's a funny addition to the track for sure. It made me laugh. So the track By May Fui, which I believe if I'm correct here, translates to I left or by I left, is actually a much more depressing tone. Instead of him trying to get the girl in the song, he's actually saying in the chorus, because I already got tired of you not appreciating being in my arms. I already got tired of just being a just in case, as like kind of a last resort of a safety precaution and a feeling of being safe for this woman. Like it sounds here like Bad Bunny really feels hurt and not appreciated. The lyrics are pretty deep in that regard. I mean, he's talking about how and you always want a fantasy love like the unicorns, but they only gave you the horn. Another goddess that preferred hell, and that bastard would hurt you was obvious. And it's not that I believe in eternal love, but thinking of if you're well, I don't sleep anymore. Your mom was crazy about me being her son-in-law, and I'm waiting like an idiot. I hate myself now. Like it's a very deep kind of breakup song, especially for for Bad Bunny. Like I was very surprised at this level of songwriting, this level of depth to one of his lyrics. I'm impressed by it for sure. He's talking about, baby, you no longer have power over me, but I already got tired of being the alternate and of the summers that end in winter, like saying that he's tired of kind of being this side backup guy for this woman. Feels like he's underappreciated, feels like he's not treated right. It's a very good track, and the sad tone of the instrumental here, the minor keys throughout it, really add to it for sure. Canción con Yandel, which I believe just translates to song with Yandel. Um, I don't really like the title, but I am impressed he was able to land this feature. Yandel has been making, Spanish music for years and years and years. This was definitely a dream of Bad Bunny's for sure. And later in these lyrics, he does say something about he's dancing to this girl to Yandel's music. Ladies really love him. Gotta say, they really do. This song I think is about a bit more of maybe not particularly a breakup song, but I think that it talks about a relationship that's on the verge of a breakup because Yandel is singing, but she gets jealous of me for everything. She's a pain about everything. She fights about everything. Sometimes I don't even put up with her, but in the bedroom we fuck and fix everything. It is a bit of a toxic relationship being described here, but considering that I don't think Bad Bunny is really putting a good spin on it, I think it's still an interesting message to preach, and I have to admit the contradiction of his attraction to this woman and his annoyance with her does make for a really deep listen, does make for a good lyrical topic, despite this again being pretty toxic of a description of a relationship. It just seems very lust-filled and not love-filled. Like Yandel is singing, even though sometimes I behave bad, she waits for me at home in a short little dress, climb into my bed soon and take everything off. All I want to do is go around your body. I am crazy for you. You can see it in my eyes when I touch you. Tell me, girl. Like, a lot of the things he's describing that he likes about this woman seems to only be her body or having sex with her or kissing her. And I think that just further exemplifies the toxicity of this, which again though does make for an interesting track despite me not really Feeling like this is a relationship people should idolize in a sense. Like most Yandel songs, there's some moody singing and guitar within the beat, as well as some echoing, reverb-soaked piano keys, but it sounds very smooth. It sounds very mellow. I think it definitely fits the lyrical tone of the song in a good way. And we hear in the second verse here Bad Bunny talking about, she is the one who was with me despite my mental problems, and the one who was with me without caring about the money. So I feel like he feels very conflicted in a sense of, there's things this woman does that is very annoying. There's ways that he's very toxic for her, but he's conflicted because of his feelings for her. And again, I think the vocal melody on the chorus of this is very nice. I don't like it as much as Más de una cita, but it sounds very pleasant here. You know, Yandel and Bad Bunny, great combination. Honestly, we'd love a collab album. Where's that collab album, guys? Where's it at? The song Bad Con Nikki, again, has such a good beat to it. There's like these echoing synth keys throughout it, but they sound so, like, it really is just like the definition of a reggaeton vibe on a song, but a bit updated here for the current pop landscape sound with that nice rhythmic drum beat. It's kind of electronic in a sense, but also has a Caribbean vibe. It's like beep boop beep beep boop beep boop. I love it. It's I love it. Great song. Lyrically though, I'm a bit conflicted because you hear Nicky Jam and Bad Bunny on this talking about this particular girl where he's saying to the boyfriend, don't call her anymore, she went off with me, I made her forget all that she suffered with you, repetitively on the hook. There's all these lyrics about how Bad Bunny or Nicky Jam, I'm not sure, perhaps both of them, are going to treat this woman far better, and just encouraging her to not like mess with this guy anymore in any way, that they're much better men for her. There's a whole verse 3 where, I don't know, Nicky Jam's just really horny and won't stop talking about it. But there's a pretty nasty bar where he says she got tired of her boyfriend but not of twerking. Oh, God. Now, my only confliction with this is, I'm not sure if this is kind of Bad Bunny and Nicky Jam being like homewreckers in a sense. I'm not sure if the guy they're referring to is like an ex-boyfriend. I don't know. I mean, either way, I don't condone homewrecking, but I guess for Bad Bunny and Nicky Jam to want her to be treated better and want the best for her and want to love her right, I suppose, that is a very heartfelt perspective on the whole situation and a very heartfelt song in a sense. Bendiciones, which translates to blessings, is a track all about that. Even in the intro, he's singing, I am here because of God. He had plans for me. Thank you to all of my people. I'm grateful. Kick me out. My enemies haven't been able to. I'm blessed. This song is really, I don't know, it's like Bad Bunny kind of flexing on his enemies, but still showing love to them, regardless within these lyrics, and just thanking everyone who supported him throughout his journey, that he's now feeling victorious. You could see it in the chorus where he's saying blessings to everyone, in the club, bottles for everyone, money for everyone. Just really him giving back, I guess, to the people that supported him through this whole journey of eventually becoming as famous as he is. He talks about, so don't talk to me about that, talk to me about progress. They show me the finger while I send them kisses, going mwah right after, like mwah. My life is VIP and your bad vibes don't enter me here. It really is a feel-good song. I think that it's interesting for Bad Bunny to not really be salty or hateful or pity towards his enemies. He's kind of saying like, listen, I still wish the best upon you, but I'm going to keep going from here, which I think is a very mature approach for him. One that I didn't expect Bad Bunny to show. I think on this album and his previous one, we really see Bad Bunny maturing as a songwriter, and it's quite inspiring, I have to say. It's a euphoric sounding track saying, hi, seeing everything blurry, thanks to the sun for another beautiful day. God, protect the kids and old people, the nurses, the doctors, and Puerto Rico from the hurricanes and earthquakes. Especially in a time like this, in America and just in the world in general, it seems like this song is very much needed. And I don't doubt that Bad Bunny probably had the situation of the world during this pandemic of COVID-19 in mind while writing this. Especially because in the bridge here he's saying, and today I woke up wanting to hug my mom, to go crazy hanging out in Miami, happiness canceled its date with me, but I always give off good vibes in case anyone needs them. Like, man, that makes me want to cry. I want to go hug my mom right now. Let me tell you. Can I turn the light on?
What are you doing? Do not take me.
I was gonna be like, can I hug you for my video?
Oh, no.
Okay. So my computer shifted because I went downstairs to try to hook my mom, and she was like, "No, I don't want to be on the video." I was like, "But you look so beautiful. You're so beautiful, mom." I don't know, man. I don't know. I really sadly didn't care much for the song "Como se siente," that remix with, I believe the artist's name is Jay Cortez or Jay Cortez. I just found his feature to sound kind of weak within this song. I also found that the lyrics again were very sexual, and I have no problem with a sexual song, but I feel like unlike previous ones on this record, there wasn't a lot of like lyrical depth to what he was saying. There wasn't really anything particularly interesting about this sexy song. It was just kind of sexy for the sake of being sexy, so I wasn't a huge fan of it. I think the best thing this song has going for it is Jay Cortez at the end with that little outro, which is a repetition of the chorus. His vocals are kind of mixed and layered as if it's like a Bon Iver song. Like, I didn't expect this much effect on him, but and on his vocals, but I thought it sounded pretty beautiful towards the end. A good way to end the song. I just wish that for his verse, he didn't sound so buried in the mix of it. And you know, especially because the beat itself on the song is pretty typical for a reggaeton track. Wasn't anything too interesting, unlike the other tracks on this project. I gotta say, the Ronker freestyle goes hard as fuck, man. This song, you know, if Bad Bunny was proving he's a great singer and songwriting throughout this record, I think he proved he could be an equally good rapper. I mean, you know, even just starting with the beat, it has these like distorted, kind of off-key sounding woodwind instruments, but it gives it such an eerie, aggressive, dangerous, and anxious sound to the song, almost as if something that Ski Mask the Slump God would hop on top of, because it also has that trap influence as well. And Bad Bunny has, you know, I mean, it's not Pusha T level lyrics on here, but he does have some clever lines. Like for example, he says like a blunt, I'm lit up. They don't turn me off even with the extinguisher. I'm the work of art that your painter doesn't make. And on my fingers, I have the iceberg that sunk the Titanic. I killed them, Sosa Flow, and they're left white like Sammy. Kind of like, you know, saying the Titanic, like he has rings on his finger, iceberg, you know, ice as in jewelry. You know, he starts to kind of brag a bit by saying, and now I take shots of tequila at the Grammys, but that wasn't me, that was the Academy. The bunny, the real pandemic. They don't talk bad about me, bastard. That's blasphemy. Stay loyal to God, and that's what he awards me. There's just a lot of like celebratory lyrics throughout this, and it's a great lyrical track. I didn't know Bunny could really write in this way. He says later on, I saw the Billboard list. Your snoring doesn't make sense. Don't force it. The flow is fabric. Come down to the studio. If you want, I'll give a clinic. Like, he's really just kind of putting out there, like, I'm the best one alive, you know, with that rap braggadocio. And it's excellent here. If it wasn't for me, the genre would be so monotone. Kind of sounds like him taking a victory lap of pushing the genre of reggaeton beyond what its limits initially were, changing the sound of it so much, but still sticking to its roots. I love the line, don't compare yourself, my flow is something else. I won without even playing the lotto, and now I go around high like Otto. Like, I typically don't like super braggadocious hip-hop based songs, but I feel like Bad Bunny has a lot of cleverness behind this. Again, I think songwriting-wise, this is one of Bad Bunny's greatest records, in my opinion. We end this project with In Casita, which I feel like has one of the grooviest, most euphoric, bouncy beats. There's these bouncy, kind of staticky mixed little synth keys throughout it. It has a very simple melody, one that we've heard in pop music a lot, but definitely works here. There's some dings and chimes and whistles within the hi-hats with the trap beat here. It's very interesting kind of drum pattern and kind of drums that they developed for this. The song, despite its very upbeat and euphoric and happy sounding instrumentation, is actually quite sad. In the chorus, Bad Bunny is singing, I want to see you, but it's not going to be possible. It's time for me to stay at home. It's time for me to stay at home repetitively throughout the chorus. And I think, again, it's just a reflection of the times that we are currently living in the world, where a lot of us are following stay-at-home orders due to this COVID-19 pandemic. And I think Bad Bunny actually has a good perspective on it that a lot of people will relate to. I know I did myself. You know, even in verse 2, Bad Bunny sounds a lot more angry, saying it's fucking hard, it's fucking hard. He wants the virus to go away like Rogelio. And it's just, yeah, it's just a really accurate artistic reflection of what we're going through right now. I think it's a very self-aware, culturally aware song. And Gabriella, again, I wish her vocals were mixed a bit better. I don't know why it's a continuous thing with the features here, but I think her voice sounds very pleasant, kind of airy, kind of fun, bounces across the beat at a nice rhythm. The only part of the song I really don't like, sadly, is the very end. Not the outro where they're talking, but the post-chorus, where they're both singing, when all this ends, you know that you owe me sex, which, man, it's 2020. We really gotta get consent right. No woman, no man owes you sex or any sexual favors or any favors or actions of that kind of caliber. And I think that even despite, even if this is his girlfriend, his partner, his wife, his fiance, whatever, just the woman he fucks around with, despite how long they haven't seen each other, she does not owe you anything, bro. Like, come on. Be a little more respectful. Let's treat our woman with some respect, right? But despite that, the other lyrics on the song seem quite romantic, and I think that he genuinely misses this person, although I do think the outro maybe changes my perspective on that a bit. Overall, I'm really, really liking this record. Aside from a few things here and there, I'd say that the biggest downfall of this record is that it's not a huge sonic improvement from Bad Bunny's last record. I think it's still kind of similar sounds that he's working with. I think the songwriting's a bit better, but it hasn't improved by that much. But considering that project didn't come out too long before this one, I wouldn't expect Bad Bunny to really make such a drastic improvement, so it's not really a huge problem to me. And as I sit here, naked, wrapped in this blanket, I just have an afterthought that Bad Bunny seems to be a pretty diverse artist. I wouldn't exactly say that vocally he's very versatile, like he sounds the same in his delivery on a lot of tracks, but I would say on this project and his previous one, he has a very diverse array of instrumental choices and styles. Overall, I'm really liking this album. I'm thinking about giving it about 4 NY fitted Yankees with brim, not without brim this time, with brim, the OG way. I'm thinking about giving it 4 out of 5 of those Yankee brims. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I love this Bad Bunny record. Definitely check it out. Charlie XCX is next for my reviews. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Enjoy.